everybody, and welcome to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. It's Drive Safe Dave here on a Friday, 1 week before Christmas Eve, and I am excited about Christmas this year because it is 1 year in which I get to celebrate with a lot of the members of the family I don't get to celebrate, that I normally get to celebrate. They're actually coming in, and we're going to have a lot of fun, so it's going to be a blast. I'm excited about it. But it's coming, and actually was surprised about it at this time. So 1 year that we're going to have a lot of fun at the Dover house. Wow. I'm not exactly too excited, actually.
And why is that? Why are you not too excited, Dave? What's going on over there?
Well, 26 people bombarding your house on a holiday, staying in all over the house. What do you think about that?
Go on. What do I think about it? Well, I'll tell you what I think about it. As somebody who's had to deal with a large family during Christmas, and somebody who's never had the house to actually fit all of those people in, typically I just go over to one of my relatives' houses for Christmas, just because it becomes easier for everybody else. Growing up, we had like a pretty small one-story house, and so everybody just kind of pushed my family to the side, and we're like, we can always host it, but with 15 people in the family, it was always up to everybody else to host. So I'm
thinking basically I'm going to require a card that says everybody that has had their booster and all their shots coming this year, because
you might lose some family members if you do that.
Hey, producer, so you and I, we grew up a little different in that when you run out of house, when you run out of room at Drive Safe Dave, you just put the maid out. You take the maid's quarter out, and I have family going to stay there. Hey, maid, butler, all of those extra rooms that he grew up with, you just moved him out. He doesn't have those same issues. There's no such thing as air mattresses, right? We go out to Walmart, we buy air mattresses. No. Honey, let's just go buy a new king-size bed for one of our other rooms in the West Wing.
First of all,
in fact, I actually heard that the house across the street's up for sale. You just want to go put something down on that really quick?
We actually do have air mattresses, and believe it or not, we had as many as 6 air mattresses all over the house with people laying on them before. So, yeah, we've actually had. Remember, my wife's from Oklahoma, so we're.
I understand. And
we do pack them in. We pack them in.
Enid, Oklahoma, a lot of oil there, too. So, I think she as well probably came from it. Anyway, another subject there. Hey, we are glad that you're joining us today. It's Friday, and Drive Safe, but literally, I know you said it, it's almost a week before Christmas, before Santa starts coming down those chimneys. Did you ever struggle with the concept of Santa coming down the chimney? I didn't understand it and get it. And many times we didn't have a chimney. In the apartments we grew up in, there was no chimney. I mean, there just wasn't one. And I said, how's he gonna get in here? How's it gonna happen?
So Santa was like, oh, don't worry, he's coming in through the fire escape. Just leave the window open, he'll be fine.
Ding, 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 ding. He's banging on the window. Yeah, it was like magic. But yeah, we've had fireplaces. But yeah, I never had to struggle with it.
In each room, every one of your bedrooms probably had your own fireplace and all that. But I remember, and I go back to my childhood, and I remember at the Brandon Square Apartments. I'll just tell you, in Wichita, Kansas, mom was literally a seamstress. She would go and sew downtown at Dr. Dobson's house or something like that. I just can remember that. My brother, we had 4 boys. My oldest brother was kind of the dad of the house. We would go out and do that. But I remember one day looking out the window, and David, my older brother, a year older than me, was like, there it is. I see Santa. And we looked up there, and it was probably a plane, or it was something, or maybe it was nothing. It was just your imagination. And I remember seeing there saying, I see it too. And I also remember I saw nothing. But I wanted to believe it, and we saw it together, and we ran back because we had to get to bed, and it's just it's a magical time of the year, this Christmas is.
I'm going to tell you right now, I've seen Santa. So I've actually seen Santa Claus. So I believe in Santa.
Okay, so real question here. How old were you guys whenever you realized that you realized the truth?
Fourth grade.
Stopped? 4th grade.
What-
4th grade. I put common sense together on that. Drive safe.
I don't know that I've ever truly gotten
Yeah.
really accepted the fact I think I'm still in denial.
So,
I'm
I've
good.
told you guys this story before, but I'll tell you again because we have some, different group of listeners. Today is Katie Bug, and she's been on the show, many times before. Katie Bug, my youngest daughter, it was about maybe 6th grade, 5th grade. She got a phone for Christmas, and she went to go get it. It was from Santa, and she was pumped up. She goes to AT&T store. She gets it to them, and they go, they said something like, oh, well, I see this was bought back in August. And Katie was like, well, no, Santa gave it to me. and remember, Kendra was there with her. And at that moment, I said, you know what? It is my time to make her realize who Santa really is. And I took her outside the store that day. I said, hey, listen, Santa's not real. And she's looking like seriously? And then I said, you know what? It's time for me just to dismiss all these myths. So I told her, hey, the Tooth Fairy as well, that's Mom or myself that goes under your thing. The Easter Bunny, not so as well. At that moment, it was like the 26th of December, 27th of December. It's like 1 or 2 days after Christmas. I took away all of those fantasies from all of those things. I don't know. I didn't win Dad of the Year. I was upset that I wasn't even nominated for Dad of the Year that year.
All of us here in the office truly believe that you ripping somebody's dreams of magic away from them is possible. We all here know you would smash everyone's dreams of magic in the world. We do believe that. And you know what?
Well,
I'm sorry, Katie
That's
Bug.
a little Grinchish there. And I feel, you're the one wearing the Grinch color today, not me. I'm coming in here to brighten up your day, to talk about safety. But speaking of the Grinch right here, who's trying to bring me down to that level, did you see over in the UK? Over in the UK, they're paying, this lady paid somebody, I don't know, 85 euros, whatever that is, to come over. Hey, you know what? I want you to come be the Grinch with my family, with my kids one day. It seemed like such a great idea. Producer, the house got trashed.
And, it's funny because their house got trashed. And she got upset. She was like, I can't believe that I paid this guy $85 to come be the Grinch in my house. It's like, okay, you paid $85.
It's about $100. 85 pounds, about $100.
You pay $100 to hire somebody. You hire the Grinch to come into your house to be the Grinch on Christmas, and she's like, I can't believe he destroyed my house. What do you
one time that you don't want your person to be an overachiever, this Grinch goes overboard. They're throwing eggs everywhere, cupcakes. I mean, it's just like Dr. Seuss. That house was smashed.
And he poured a drink over the kid. He poured the drink.
Which honestly, that sounds like a good gig. Like, I want to know how he got into that. I wish I could go over it.
I'll tell you what it starts with. It starts with a contract that has all this. I'm going to do all this, and nobody just sign right here. Pretty much just saying that, you know what, I'm going to do what I do, and you do what you do, and we all walk away from here. Good friends, buddies. Nobody read that contract, but who would have thought that the Grinch, seriously, would really come in and just torture that house, tear it apart?
I think anybody who's seen the movie, read the book, it's pretty obvious.
I think she thought this was a photo op moment with the Grinch with some little trick. She thought this was let's go in and after, so if you've read Grinch, there's two parts to the story. There's where the 90% of the story where he's horrible, and then there's the 10% where he gets his heart grows 5 times that day. But I don't think he had grown a heart yet. I think this was the pre-Christmas Grinch. This is not the Grinch after Christmas.
Yeah, it was bad. Listen, we're going to come back to you with more stories from the Grinch, more stories about safety in 60 seconds. This is BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
Hey everybody, it's Drive Safe Dave here with BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. As you know, winter is upon us, and with winter comes some difficulties and challenges. Now, if you live below or running below that 20 or I-10 corridor, you may not feel that pressure, but if you do, let's talk about a few little tips that we have. Tip number 1, let's make sure we get over here and we drain these air tanks. Let's get that moisture out of there so that we make sure because moisture and freezing cold temperatures don't mix. All they make is ice. Tip number 2, remember when air temperature drops, so does pressure in these tires. You want to make sure that when you enter into or near cold temperatures, you make sure that your tire pressure is and cold pressure stays correct throughout these cold temperatures. You want to be safe out there because this is where the rubber meets the road. Tip number 3, if it's extreme weather and extreme cold conditions, you may want to make sure that you use an anticoagulant or an anti-gel inside the diesel fuel so that it thins and doesn't gel up on you in the lines or anywhere else. Tip number 4, as you know, when you enter into the West, there are certain regions that require you to have snow chains and or snow socks in that region. Make sure that you carry them. And tip number 5, I'm going to give this one to you as a freebie. Carry with you a little bit of cat litter in your truck. That way, if you get a little bit stuck or if you get near a region that doesn't have a lot of grip, you can throw that down and give your truck that needed oomph to get out of those sticky or slippery situations. For more pertinent and safety information, you can always tune in Monday through Friday, Central Standard Time between 7 and 8 a.m. and get that needed information on BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
Welcome back to BCB Live, safest station in the nation. Drive safe, Dave. What are you laughing at?
Dude, it's a domestic. You can't do that. Why would you say that? Just free
I'm
it,
saying,
man.
producer,
so the coyotes can get it. I don't understand that.
You know what? It's the circle of life, my friend. The circle
What,
of
a
life is
car
what this
rental?
producer allows his roommate to get a cat. I think it's all. You know what? Kudos to you. I love that stuff. Find out the cat's got all of it. She's just talking. Cat's got all of its shots. It's ready to go. And I'm just saying, just leave it outside. I mean, sounds like it's an outdoor cat to me.
Wow.
I think typically what constitutes an outdoor cat is you just let it. You don't have to worry about the shots. You just put it outside, and maybe you get it fixed, and that's that. I don't know.
Typically a tomcat, but no, a stray or a tom or feral. Sometimes we call them feral cats.
See, all of the above is what it could be. I think you're taking away this cat's opportunity to really explore and see
Rick,
who
would you
really
have its claws
is. You know
removed?
what? I would go be your own man.
Here,
be your own cat.
I've given you all your shots, and I've taken your claws away. So go, be a victim.
Good luck out there. Don't worry about the snakes or anything.
Be a victim.
Yeah. Hey, drive safe. You know what? Speaking of some victims, Haiti.
Oh yeah. Good news there.
Yes, and it's great news. We had the missionaries got released.
All of them.
All of them now. I think they had 4 or 5 of them got released a couple of weeks ago. The remainder got released yesterday or into today. Phenomenal news, and we don't know if it was there is a lot of
Speculation.
We just don't know, right? Hey, we're going to thank God for letting them go. And, I don't know if it was the faith of the mustard seed that got them out, or was the faith plus about 10, 15 million that may have got them out from being released. We don't know we don't know that yet. I'm sure we'll find out, but do you think that the Haitians just said, you know what? We took you October 16th. We're just going to let you go for free. You think some cash probably transpired there?
I do believe some.
Yeah.
I do believe somebody was trained.
Producer, we have nothing on that yet?
No, there's no news.
We have nothing on it, but honestly, they also had like 4 toddlers with them in that room. If I had to hold 4 toddlers for a few weeks, I think I'd just let them go too.
Running for diapers, and the kidnappers running back and forth with diapers. Hey, y'all want to reduce the cost on these, because this is killing me on the.
We're paying more than we're getting right now. Yeah, it's not worth it.
No doubt about it. So hey, congrats! So phenomenal news, and remember, it's just that area continues to be dangerous, right? That Muwasa or whatever 400 group. There's some bad dudes. They don't play around.
Right. You're talking about a country ridden with definitely not economic strife, but not only with poverty, economic strife, but lawlessness, right? You're talking about where the mob is ruling, and you're talking about where gangs are controlling regions, highways, they're controlling commerce, and it's causing it's not going to benefit the country in any way. They're going to have to get security forces in there to take control of that situation, or the country won't benefit. I'll tell you, honestly, each of us really want is for our children and our families to be safe every single day, and to go to work and to have a job, and that's not what's being given this region.
And have a cat
with no claws.
With no claws. Giving that up. Hey, but drive safe. Did you see the White House plan to, going to unveil a plan, or they said they have a plan to bolster kind of this trucking industry. And when I read things like that, it gets me excited. But then when you read the rest of it, you're like, okay, where's the plan at? The plan includes, and here's where things start bothering me. And I feel like, don't say anything until you're ready to say what the plan is, right? But they talk about expediting the process of getting the CDL, making it easier is what they say in some articles to how they can get the CDL.
That bothers me.
And that bothers me big time. It's not the easiness of it. It's not like anybody can just go out there and drive a truck. You know what? Let's bring more people. We've got to find a way to expedite it so they can get in line and get their license early to go drive these trucks, because all they do is put it in drive and go. There's not much more to it than that.
Yeah, I did see a couple of deals in there on training programs that they were going to try to help with, but I think one of the articles also mentioned that it was going to go and I guess get with the military and help.
We've been trying to do this for a little while though, right? Get the veterans involved in coming into this industry, going into some of the cities as well that aren't well represented, and getting them involved as well in the trucking thing. And drive safe. What I just have to caution us all on is that to get people, I'll just say it, and I think we've said it here many times. If you want people in the industry, listen, you've got to fix the industry. And that's not just the truckers. That's not just throwing money at the problem. That's not throwing people at the problem.
Absolutely.
You've got to fix those detention issues, right? You've got to fix all of those commonalities that we have. You've got to take those carriers that are unsafe, that are going to take advantage of this.
Right.
Right? Oh, you know what? I can get drivers quicker now. Come on in. You know what? No training. We'll throw you out there on the road. We'll give you the very bare minimum training. That's not the answer either. It's not throwing people at a problem. It's addressing the problems. It's fixing the parking. And again, when I see this, nowhere in this does it still talk about parking.
No.
Where is my parking at? It's not in the infrastructure bill. It's not in this bill right here. We're gonna flood the market with more inexperienced drivers to only park where? Where are they going to park? We haven't thought that through yet.
No, they
don't.
don't.
What are we talking about? What are we thinking about? That drive safe drives me nuts.
Yeah, there's so much to the bill. I mean, I get they see a problem. This makes just good press, by the way. Y'all get that, right? This is just bullet points and makes good press. I right now don't see a solution anywhere on this statement and on this deal. This is just, hey, we're figuring out a way to fix the infrastructure. First of all, even the president himself says he doesn't understand the supply chain.
and I'm wondering who is doing all this. Who is this the Washington Insider Group? Is this that group you talked about? Jack Dave as our Washington Insider. I need you to find out who is behind this. Is this a bunch of senators that have no trucking experience? Right. You realize that in the state of Texas, there's not. We have a gentleman getting ready to run for a state representative that has trucking experience. The only one in Texas.
Yeah.
The only one in Texas. So who's making these things? Who's figuring this out? This big plan out? Who's behind this plan? Because
I don't know.
You know what? We've got to think it through. And it's not a Washington thing. I don't believe it's fixing the issue. That's what it is. They're also talking about going after those predatory leasing. And it sounds to me like it's at lease purchase items. Those people that are being taken advantage of. Again, I don't know exactly what that means. Where's those definitions at when they talk about those predatory truck leasers that are they're going to attack that somehow? And I don't know. I think that drive safe are those, again, I think it's people that take advantage of other people. And that's with the truck lease, right? You charge them whatever. They're never going to pay it off anyway. We're going to keep We're going to charge you for the maintenance. We're going to do all this. You're going to buy a truck that's worth $20,000. You're going to charge you $200,000 for it, but it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. What are you going to do about that? Because the more people we flood into this market that aren't educated in our industry, the more opportunistic these folks are going to get with them.
Yeah, there's a chance here. Look, we have a chance to do a lot, and until they get the right experts and the right people in the industry to help figure out some of these problems. I don't think that we're going to do it. Nowhere in there did it even mention the Transportation Committee. Nowhere in there did it even draw in its own resources from its own people. All it was talking about was what the White House was going to do, and these are just bullet points that I believe this is just a good press story.
It's a great press story because it makes you feel good and say, oh man, what a great idea, what a great plan. You know what? I feel better today. Much like I believe goes into that same congestion at the port area. Right. Producer, I don't know, I should have looked that up today, but I do wonder how many ships are out there at sea. And I'm not talking about inside that. I'm talking about outside that 150-mile radius. Because
slow rolling it.
We did this. We act like we fixed a problem. We said, you know what? There's only 40 ships now left to go. Our plan is working. And we just don't say, hey, you know what? What about those other 100? What about those other 100 ships out there at sea that are 150 miles out there that you're not letting come into the zone anymore? Because when they get in the zone, they count. And I'm saying, what about that? It's all about addressing the issue. It's about identifying that root cause. And when we talk about driver shortage, we talk about all that we have right now, we got to go back to the root. First, identify what the root cause is. I mean, drive safe. Imagine if all of a sudden it's a glorious world. We have all these drivers coming in, they're knocking in on the door. We're welcoming them with open arms, only to say, you know what? We really don't have trucks for you yet because we still have chip shortage. We still haven't allocated these safe trucks. Or we're going to put them in the trucks that aren't safe.
Or we're going to bring them trucks in, and we'll just be more inefficient with how we run them, right? I mean, that's really, I think, we'll just be worse at it than we were before. We just won't be as efficient. We won't improve our efficiencies. No. We'll just become least.
Drives me crazy. More craziness coming up next on BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
Hi, this is David Dover, also known as Drive Safe Dave. You are watching BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
Safety is what you want to talk about. And safety is what you want to be every single day. That's what we're here for. We're here to make it better.
The industry needs BCB Live so that it can find new and inventive ways to bring safety to the forefront for every single person out there on the road.
And you got to be prepared to stop. And when you look at that and you understand the situation that you're in, you got to know that it's going to change. You got to expect it to change, and you can't run those lights.
You can watch BCB Live weekdays 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. So what are you waiting for? Follow and subscribe to BCB Live today.
Welcome back to BCB Live, safest station in the nation. Drive Safe Dave. We saw on the news, reported in CDL Live, that we had another accident involving a train and a truck. This was a flatbedder, right? Traveling eastbound on Road 360, 360th Street, whatever that is, near Sioux Falls, Iowa. Okay, so it hits a train. The train's already going. It's not like it's trying to beat the train from what the story sounds like. It sounds like it just hit the train, causing $40,000 of damage to that truck, $100,000 damage to the train. And they're still investigating the reason why. And I just wanted us to look at the area that's going on. And Dave, you're my expert driver, right? I was going to kind of drive this from you right now. But here's the road right here, or we don't know where the driver was going to, but this is Iowa 60 right here. And I just want you to go with me on this for a second, this drive right here. Right up here to the right, if you see that, that's the train track that we're going to cross. Right. So either we're coming over here this way or we're going down up the highway. It's one of the two. We don't know that yet. But we're going to keep driving right here. And Dave, I hit the train. It's 8:30 in the morning, okay? Maybe the sun's out. I'm going, I guess right now I'm going northbound.
Okay.
Right, northbound. I don't think there's a sun issue, right? It's 8:30 in the morning. Right here is the area that we're going to run into right here. We're going to look right here. So I'm turning right here possibly. Dave, how do I hit that train? It's already in there. I mean, what am I missing here?
Well, there's a lot going on here. Number one, the track's running parallel to the road you're running. So if anything's behind you running, then it's in your blind spot, right?
Gotcha.
So if you're looking in your mirror, so if this gate's not down and these lights aren't working, that's probably going to tell you, hey, there's probably not a train coming.
Yep.
So there's a lot of deals here, but I'll tell you, that's one of the reasons I wear some of the traffic patterns with trains to show how dangerous these are when trains and roads run parallel to one another. People forget not only how fast they're moving, because you're moving 60 or you're moving 70, they forget how fast the train can be moving out here. They can lose its lag time. But when you enter these areas right here, you may not see it, and this is your blind spot back here. You can't look over your shoulder. That's running down a mirror. It's hard to see. Trains are very, very difficult to see. And if you whip in here real quick, and he's coming at the same time, the next thing you know, you can't stop on this gravel road as easy.
You're not stopping on that gravel road.
Yeah,
right?
you're not going to be able to lock it up as easy, and you're going to slide right into the train. And that to me, and looking at the accident, it looks like to me he slid into the train.
Gotcha, and that makes a lot of sense. And Dave, you bring up a great point, because if you're coming that northbound with the train, right, you're not seeing it. Maybe you're distracted. You're not paying attention. You know your exit, and you know what? Drive safe. Perhaps it's a hay. He's hauling hay too. Probably been up this road a million times.
100%.
There's never a train. I do it all the time.
8:30?
Yep.
It's not the time he's supposed to be there.
And today there's a train. You don't stop. Your pattern just goes in. It just sinks in and drive safe. So I see your sign. I see your shirts all the time. And what I'm saying is that somewhere here, and that's probably it right here, right? Let's turn this thing around real fast.
I don't know if it shows a traffic. I don't know if that one has a traffic pattern there, but yeah, you should see. There you go.
Well, let's just look at it.
Yep, there's a traffic pattern.
Looky there. Look right there. Drive safe, Dave. Where's this on his shirt? Drive safe, Dave. I'm going northbound right now. This is on your shirt all the time. What does this sign mean as I approach this intersection?
Okay, so really what you see a lot of the times, what people recognize is the railroad crossing sign. That means that up ahead, this road crosses a railroad track. But because you're on this road and the track's running parallel, you can't place a danger railroad crossing sign because you're not crossing a sign. So what they do is they identify the danger right here by giving you the traffic pattern of the truck running parallel to you. Not only are you running parallel to the track, there is a highway that crosses both. So be aware of the traffic pattern ahead. Not only be aware of this railroad track, but also the crossing pattern.
I saw that today, and what a perfect example of what you do with you wear these shirts. You're showing us some patterns that we've got to pay attention to when you're on the road, and we got to think this so many times, like, come on, I mean, that sign, it's never going to happen. We saw it happen yesterday. Thank God everybody's okay, right?
Absolutely.
Damage to the truck, damage to the train. But when you're driving down that road, you see that sign, you've got to know what it's telling you. You've got to know what to expect from these signs. So drive safe, Dave. Hey, kudos to you, baby, for wearing that shirt. It's showing us different ways to be safe and sharing that with you to make us, as a group, safer on that highway. And you know what? It is time for that phrase that pays. It is time to give away some cold, hard cash. And I think today's 200.
Yeah, it is $200.
It is a $200 day.
$200 day.
$200 day for this phrase that pays. And here's the deal. Is this a singing one or not?
This is the singing
All
one.
right, so here we go. It's going to be a $500 day for you.
Wow! Wait a minute.
If you sing that phrase that pays. If you talk it, and I'm going to go to this. Today, rapping's not singing. Okay? Not today. I need it sung in some kind of,
it's a Christmas carol.
Snow
Yeah, it's a Christmas carol.
So here we go. Producer, I need a singer. I need karaoke person on this to sing to us for $500, that phrase that pays.
Come on.
Chris Wasson, can you sing us that phrase that pays,
Chris.
sir? Chris Wasson.
$500 will get you a good Christmas present for baby.
Finally get called and I don't know it.
Oh, man.
That's the first time I ever got called and I don't know it.
Oh, hey, you know what?
Ain't
There's
no
always
point like a
next year,
safety
Chris.
car.
There's always next year. Producer, give me somebody else. That's a strike one.
All right, we're moving along. Josh Bennett. Josh, can you give us that phrase that pays?
Come
sir?
on, Josh.
Can you sing us that phrase that pays? We've got a lot of money on the line right now.
Can't type this one out.
Nope. Oh, I think that's a strike, too.
That's a
You know what?
strike, too.
I think when it comes to singing, a lot of people aren't courageous like you, Drive Safe Dave. They can't carry that tune. They're scared. But for $500, I'm going to take that chance. Producer, give me one more.
Mark Lapp, can you sing us that
yeah.
phrase,
Come on, Mark.
that pace, sir? See, you got your hand up. You should be able to unmute yourself now, Mark. There should be a microphone up there, and there should be like a little prompt that says the organizer has asked you to unmute.
Please sing. Please sing.
Please sing. Please sing.
All right, you know what?
I think that we you know what, Drive Safe? All I can do is just give. And you know what? You heard it earlier from him trying to say I bring people down. All I do is try to give and give.
I
give.
said you
That's
rip-
who I am, and there's no ripping here. If I am, it's because I do believe this, Drive Safe Dave. Sometimes you got to tear somebody down so much, and then you start building them.
That's called
back
brainwashing.
up.
That's called brainwashing, by the way.
Potato,
That's
potato. Hey, Drive Safe Dave, give us that phrase that pays.
All right, here is the phrase that pays, and I will do my best to get it for you in the sing-song pattern as soon as the producer allows me to do so. Here it is, coming up, the phrase that pays. Dashing through the snow, remember to increase space and go slow. Ha, 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 ha.
Bam! I love it. Only here at BCB Live. Not only do you get a person that wears shirts to show you and teach you safety, he also sings. An amazing man right here for an amazing group of drivers out there. God bless you. Coming up next is Buckle Up Bob on BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
Watching BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. BCB Live covers freight. Here we are now, 21% of record freight being rejected.
News down in Texas. We're going to talk a little bit about this. We had another $1.5 million seizure. If ever there's a time to do a pre or post trip, it's if you're doing something wrong.
Weather, traffic.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to some traffic and weather with Buckle Up Bob. Kind of see where the visibility can be compromised a little bit. Again, right where that rain is.
And most importantly, safety.
One of the things that we must do is make sure that safety is the number one thing that we focus on.
Going into an intersection, yellow is not the way to, that's to clear an intersection, not to enter an intersection.
Tune in weekdays from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. You can watch BCB Live through LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe today and follow BCB Live.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this Friday at BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. We're going to get you kicked off a little bit with some traffic, and we're going to look at the DFW area first. Fort Worth looks great. I mean, we'll start with the good and go to the bad, I guess. But 35W looks great north and south. A little bit of a slowdown here as you approach 30. That is always there. So, again, a little bit of congestion, probably about a 15 to 20-minute delay. And then getting out here by Meacham Airport, you also have some problems as you head eastbound, and that's, again, at a merge point that's really congested. They're under construction there a little bit, so the ramps are hard, and you can get caught in one lane and have to go switch to the other. So just be patient there, and you should make it through okay. 30 looks great this morning, which is usually a bottleneck. The big issue we've got on the loop in Dallas area is down here in the southern part of 20. You can see right here at 45 merge. Again, this is going to be your westbound lanes. And then, I'm sorry, yeah, your westbound lanes, I was right. Sorry. And then again, up here north at Farmers Branch, we're 114 and 635, just north of the DFW airport. That is also usually a hot box there as a major merge point and some short ramps to get over on as well. So it's kind of a mess up there this morning as you come into the DFW area. And again, south of Mesquite, we also have a 15 to 20 minute delay this morning. We go to Houston. Houston looks pretty good. You know, the downtown area, of course, with the loops where you want to stay on to go around it, looks really good. A little bit bottleneck here at Jersey Village, but all in all, not too bad. The toll here coming in, Katy area to Bel Air looks pretty good. A little bit of a slowdown back up on the merge point there, but all in all, Houston, you look good this morning. So enjoy your Friday commute. Kansas City always looks good. We're always shocked when it don't. And this morning, it looks good again. 70 looks clear passing through. The loops look great. Again, you always want to focus on the loops because that's your best way usually to get around these major city areas. And again, the loop in Kansas City looks great this morning. Chicago's looked pretty good all week, if I remember right. And again, today, I'm going to say looks the best that it ever has. I mean, there's just hardly anything red anywhere but the downtown area, which is there. But it doesn't even reach all the way back up to the loops, the downtown area. So, again, Indiana and Illinois state line, 80-90 crossover looks great. 355 loop looks good. 90 looks awesome. 88 and Aurora and Naperville looks good. 80 coming up by Joliet. And then 55 in Bolingbrook, which has been a problem, looks great. Chicago, you look really good this morning. So please keep your patience out there on this Friday commute and keep your spacing going. And you should have a smooth morning up in the Chicago area this morning. Wow, Atlanta looks pretty good, I'm going to say. Very little red. You know, the typical Sandy Springs area, but again, 20, which is usually a problem heading west, looks great. A little bit of a slowdown here south of Panthersville, and that is going to be in the south or the westbound lane. But again, it looks like about a 10-minute max. And then out here by this airport, the eastbound lane, you've got about a 10 to 15 minute as you approach the 285 loop merge. But all in all, Atlanta, you guys look great this morning considering. So be patient, right? Keep it going. Don't make any sudden quick lane changes, right? You see that in these rush hour traffics. The quick lane changes is when somebody gets caught in an accident. So be patient out there this morning. We do have a little bit. I think it just popped up because I don't remember seeing that. 85, we have a problem stretching out, and this is the southbound or westbound lane, I'm going to say. Again, all the way backed up before Pleasant Hill and past the 285 loop. So 85, you could have a little bit of a 30-minute delay maybe out there this morning as you approach the loop. But the rest of it looks great. The loop looks awesome this morning in Atlanta. As we go to Philly. Philly looks great. New Jersey side looks awesome. Even that little construction area along the river isn't quite as big yet. So great job on this Friday there. The Turnpike, usually backed up here way by the 276, just starts at Conshohocken. And again, it's not the dark red. It's just all scattered and spotty. So you're going to see some stop and go traffic there. Looks like maybe you might spend 10 to 15 minutes in that stop and go traffic. South, Chester, all that Darby Township looks great. Deptford, Haddonfield, that's been a problem, looks good. So Philadelphia, you also have a great commute this morning. Keep up the good work and keep the patience and stay in your lanes when you can. Nashville looks good again. 24, always a problem on the northbound side. But again, it's light orange. So again, you've got traffic moving. It's just moving at a slow pace. So you should have a fairly smooth trip up to the merge point here at 24. 40 looks good coming into all the merge points. And 65, the loop around looks great. Again, just this typical 65-24 split. That's always there. So you can expect that congestion. But again, another great commute going on in Nashville this morning. As we look, wow, man, is everybody on vacation already maybe? Huh? Because I'm sitting here looking at that. I've never seen Baltimore that green. I mean, you've got just a little bit of a spot up there in Pikesville. Otherwise, all the connecting routes look great coming down in the D.C. area. D.C. area looks awesome. Silver Springs, always a problem. But again, looks pretty good on the eastbound lane, westbound lanes direction. But again, south looks great. A little bit of a backup here in Centerville, which we've seen on 66, but really not much. You're looking at a 5-minute area there, possibly. But it looks great in the Washington, D.C. and the Baltimore area this morning. And last but not least, keep it going. Indianapolis looks awesome. There's nothing on the loop, nothing on 70 till you get out here by Monrovia. Both lanes have a little bit of a traffic issue coming here, the west and the eastbound lanes, both. But again, it's small, just near Monrovia. So it should be about a 5 to 10 minute delay there. But Indianapolis, you guys look great this morning. So again, keep that patient space, stay in your lanes. As we go into our weather, we should, again, after the horrible winds, still looking at some reports. We do have some of that thunderstorm activity that we talked about yesterday. Here it is, Oklahoma into Arkansas and moving into Tennessee. So if you're in there, slow down. Remember, speed requires, right, about a 15% reduction in your speed. So again, in these rainstorms, you need to slow down. Stay in your lanes. Watch the lane changes. They're even harder to visualize sometimes with the spray. So you want to make sure you make that slow, steady lane change and keep your blinkers on for several seconds to signal and let everybody else know what you're doing. Our wind gusts, not too bad starting out. As we go to our Friday, see a little bit of an increase, but again, nothing you all can't manage. The Dallas area, we could see some 35 to 40 mile an hour gusts. That does require you to get it down to 55, folks. The speed can blow you over. You max that with a 39 mile an hour gust, and you could have some issues there. As we go into Saturday, again, Texas, you're going to see them 30 mile an hour winds. Just requires a little bit of a speed reduction, but all in all, the country looks pretty good. Let's see what we got in storms. Here's going to be the big one tomorrow. You can see that southeast, Houston, all the way to New Orleans, Alabama. So you've got Mobile and Gulfport, Mississippi, all those along the coast and into Florida. You're going to see some potentially strong storms tomorrow. So watch that. We can see some snow in the very upper part of Massachusetts, Vermont, and New Hampshire, along with upstate New York and into Canada. Could see some snow. And then you can see a little bit of freezing rain on the south edge of that line. So be mindful up there if you're driving up in that area on Saturday. And then again, we got a little system coming in Seattle for Saturday. As we move to our Sunday for the weekend, this system, you can see the storms move out. Virginia Beach looks to be the big area. And in the afternoon, it pretty much clears out for most of the country. A little bit of snow in Idaho and Montana. But all in all, come Sunday, we should have a pretty good day throughout the country as far as weather goes. Folks, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with some safety.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. Drive Safe Dave here, along with Buckle Up Bob. And Bob, what are we talking about today on, by the way, did you see that road sign? Did you see that traffic pattern sign?
I did see that.
I'm just telling you, I'm bringing them out here. You know, and I'm telling you, Bob, one of the great things about bringing sign recognition to the show is people don't really look at them. I mean, they don't. They see them, but they don't look at them. I mean, most people believe, and I'm just going to tell you out of from an article I was reading, most people don't even read STOP on a stop sign. They identify it as an image, the octagon itself, They don't actually read the word stop. They just know that it means stop, and they don't actually read that anymore because of its identification. So they don't actually look at signs like you would think they do. I would say the vast majority of people don't look at them for what they are and for what they mean. Because what's really interesting is a lot of the times that I've worn signs out here in the office, I've had people tell me, I don't think that's a real sign. And every sign that I've ever worn on the show, every sign that I've ever is an actual real sign. And, it has a specific meaning. And one of the things that we try to do is we try to improve that and bring some sign recognition, because there are a lot of people that don't know the vast majority of signs that are out there on the road and what they really mean. I mean, now a lot of the truck drivers out there, absolutely, that's part of their job. And I think they're probably the best in the world at knowing what the traffic signs mean. But there are a lot of people out there on the road today that don't have any clue as to what a lot of the signs mean out there on the road.
Yeah, and you bring up a good point. You know, there's a lot of things some of the signs you wore I didn't recognize. You know, I either I've never paid attention or I just don't see them that often. But you're right about the stop signs, because I've seen more and more certain cities, they're actually putting lights on the octagon shape.
Yeah, that'll bring attention to
it. Because people aren't reading them, so they're going to see red and they're going to see blinking lights on the sign itself to warn you to stop. And I think you're right. You either don't know the signs, or probably the three most common signs are always ignored, and that's speed limits, yield, and stop. Right? We see it all the time in the videos. Right. We see people running stop signs, stop lights even. Don't even slow some people down. So
to me, some of and when you don't know what a sign means and you aren't aware of it, then to me, you're absolutely ignoring it. Because if you don't know what it means, you don't know what it's trying to tell you. So you're absolutely ignoring what the intention of it is. We all know what a speed limit, even though we know what the speed limit sign means, we do sometimes just not do what it says. But there are signs that out there on the road that drivers look at and they don't know what it means. So what are they going to do? They're not going to stop and try to Google that sign real quick. They're going to continue on ahead and ignore the sign altogether. So what are we talking about today, Bob?
We are talking about holiday safe driving tips. And again, these really apply almost every single day that you're out there driving. And no difference with 5 and 6, right? And avoid distractions, right? You have to avoid distracted driving. 1 second makes a difference. The sooner you accept that as a reality, not as a false pretension of reality, but it is a reality. 1 second matters, so avoid all distractions. And again, with the holiday season coming up, right? Don't drive impaired. Drive safe, Dave. Do you drive impaired?
No, I do not drive impaired.
Make arrangements, right? Uber, Lyft, designated driver, whatever the case may be. Protect life this holiday season. I can't stress that enough. And be mindful when you are sober out there driving that others around you aren't.
Yeah, and I'll tell you,
that's the key.
And I think I like that, because the other day, my wife and I, we went out and we were both going to drink, so we Ubered out, which means we had no choice but to Uber back after drinking. So we didn't make the choice. We already chose that we weren't going to drive at all, and I think that helps, right? If you already make the choice, and that's really, if you're going to drink and you already have those decisions made, then figure out before, if you've already decided you're going to drink, then already make your plan to not drive after you drink. It's that simple.
It really is.
I mean, that's really it's not an accident that a drink falls in your hand and you drink it. It's not an accident, because you got to actually pay for it. I'm just saying. And even if you don't.
Unless it's your wife, then you pay for it.
Well, and as she would say, it's her money too.
That's true.
But I'll tell you, the plan is make a plan just like you would out any other time. If you're going to drink and you make a plan not to drive. I mean,
yes,
it's
please.
It's that simple. All right, let's see the video.
Can't stress that enough. This first one, again, everything's good. You're coming up on a motorcycle. You got to slow down. Get out of the gas, brake, right? But we're going to time it. And then make a quick lane change on a motorcycle that's going a little slow, right? Don't know if they're having troubles or whatever, but you just got to slow down. Please.
Is that Oklahoma?
Nope, Missouri.
Okay. Oh, Missouri. Okay.
And here, never ever is this okay. We just did lane changes, right? So drivers out there, please pay attention to these safety tips, right? 1 lane change at a time and follow the same process. You can't jump. And here, I've been guilty. I know it. But when I watch these videos and I see there's so much going on here, folks, One, you've got a lot of traffic ahead of you. So, okay, you're weaving in and out basically right now. This, by the way, this is an erratic lane change defined by law enforcement. If a state was to convict you on this charge, the carrier is required to suspend you for 60 days. That is mandatory on a conviction only, not a citation. But if the state presses charges and convicts you, then you cannot drive for 60 days.
Yeah, because that's a misdemeanor at that. It's a Class B, right? Not no longer a Class C, which is like. And another concerning thing about this video is, look, it is number one. You're moving. You already know they're running slow in that lane to the right, but here you go. You got an emergency vehicle merging in, a police officer merging in right there, and you're making erratic lane changes on the road. Why don't you just put a sign out there that says, hey, somebody write me a ticket?
And remember, we haven't seen it lately, but we just had one yesterday, and I just want to remind everybody, for a while, we were seeing rashes that once they get you on speeding or a lane violation, then they do the DOT inspection on you while you're at it. Because they said, I already got him for this.
Yeah.
What else can I find, right?
Yeah.
You've given them that reason, not that they need one, but you've given them a reason to say, hey, I've already got a violation. How much more can I add to it?
Yeah, I'm already got you over here, and you know what I haven't done? I haven't written anybody up for inspection today. Here we are. Let's make it happen.
Not only that, but when they're stacked up, we have shown, statistics show, and we've seen them in videos, 1 out of 5 are going to jump out. They're going to get impatient. And then again, you got the police car. Just unacceptable there. Again, here, great job. Situational awareness. Watch what happens here. They're going to pass. They're going to go make an illegal lane change. And they're going to jump in front of a semi. Great job by this driver. You can see everybody is pulling away from this driver. Recognizing the situation, getting on the brake a little bit, and getting the speed out of any potential harm. It just takes a few seconds, folks, and this driver has protected life, and he or she will get right back up to where they need to be. They haven't lost anything in this video.
Okay,
Great job.
So here's a question I got on this video right here. So this driver comes around, look, hits the brake to move over into that. Does anybody see that but me?
Yeah.
This driver wants to not only brake in front of this 18-wheeler, which is not smart, right? Yep. But let me brake in front of the 18-wheeler in the hammer lane
that I'm going to cut off.
That I'm going to cut off. What are you doing here? Well, I don't understand that whole that whole movement is confusing to me whatsoever.
And again, brake checking is illegal. It is called as a blatant disregard for protecting life or safety of others and property. That's how they define it. Hey, folks, we talked about the wind. Remember, when we put speed restrictions, and we're going to have some in Dallas, Texas area, right? They're real. I'm going to bet money that this trailer was parked because it's off the road, right? And it's laying on its side. So it brings up two things. One, folks, take the speed serious when these wind gusts are out there. You have to. And two, when you do find a place to park, try not to park out in the open where you can, because you're still susceptible to being blown over. So if you pull into truck stops, try to get off the ends if you can. Again, sometimes you don't have a choice. I get it. But if you can, get in the middle. They're not going to get blown over. It's always going to be the end trucks, or like this one. It looks like just pulled off because the winds were dangerous and they still got them. I'm going to assume. I'm sure you didn't tow it on its side. So it really looks like the driver tried to get safe. But it really shows that even when you're not moving, the winds are still dangerous. Here again, stop, folks. Stop always means stop.
Stop sign up ahead.
Stop sign ahead. There's the red. Even if you can't read it, red octagon means stop. And we're just going to roll through it right behind that truck. Oh, come to the complete stop, folks. Make sure something wasn't missed. Intersections are dangerous.
What do you save there? I mean, you're not saving anything there.
A second?
Not even that.
Really?
And in these automatics, you don't even have to press in the clutch, guys. This is an automatic, it looks like. So with that model vehicle, this looks like an automatic. So I'm going to say all you had to do was come to a complete stop here.
Yes, please. And again, the reason we say that, folks, I know nothing happened there, but it becomes a habit, right? Drive safe. Right. You put these bad habits in your driving. Again, here's another one, right? That driver was not planning to stop. Roundabouts have been dangerous. We've seen them, especially, I think, for 18-wheelers. There's a lot going on. Sometimes there's 2 lanes, and you got to figure that out. But the yield is here. Obey the yield sign. There's no yielding there. And then the driver has to slam on the brakes because there comes a vehicle in the roundabout.
Yeah, and that vehicle slowed because it didn't think the truck was going to stop.
It didn't think the truck was going to.
Yeah,
right?
and you know
Prepare
what?
to stop.
I truly understand how difficult it is for 18-wheelers, but they are showing that roundabouts save lives because the vehicles enter into the intersection going the same direction, which is more of a glancing blow instead of a straight T-bone.
Yeah.
So they are showing that these are saving lives.
The places I've seen them, they also do reduce traffic congestion in that area for the stops,
Correct.
believe it or not.
Yeah.
They are beneficial, but we got to learn how to drive around.
I agree 100%. Those roundabouts are difficult, and I think as they become more prevalent, more people will be experienced out there. But right here, you already see the vehicle there on the left, and what happened? That you scared that vehicle to death. He came to a stop. Great video. Okay, what else?
This last one is just, all I could say was wow. Wow, wow, wow.
Is that a straight truck? Yeah, that's a straight truck.
Folks, I don't care if you're a truck driver, if you're a four-wheeler, it doesn't matter. This is exactly how road rage can happen. And folks, I've been doing some research, and we're going to do a little topic on it and some training videos. But road rage is getting so out of hand, I couldn't believe it. There are 200 murders a year due to road rage. They've linked to road rage. 200 people are being sought out and basically murdered out of road rage. And it's because of things like this that everybody gets frustrated with. Assume the best. Who we got, producer?
Yeah, we got Donna Kaysen on the line. What do you got for us, Donna?
What's going on, Donna?
Hey, good morning. That was my video. Am I correct, Bob?
Yes, ma'am.
I just left the yard, and I was working my way down 287, and the traffic was backed up. I could not believe what that driver did. I was just like, are you serious? Never slowed down, never looked. And he was in such a hurry that he exited off and jumped back up on the freeway down, another exit.
So
he was just in a big hurry. He didn't want to wait. And I wish I could have got the company. I couldn't get nothing.
No.
And, but that's all he was doing. He was in such a hurry. I mean, it was crazy because I was behind him. Then he jumped over to the fast lane. And of course, I backed off because the traffic was just heavy. It's always heavy through there. And next thing I seen, I was just like, I was floored. I'm surprised there wasn't an accident because that other car was exiting off.
Yeah.
So,
and great job by you backing off and just giving all the space that there could be for, hey, you can't prevent the accident, but you sure could have maybe stopped others from being involved in it.
Exactly. So, but yeah, that was just crazy. That's what we see out here every day.
Yep.
So thank you.
Yes,
You're
ma'am.
welcome. Thank you, Donna. Anybody else there, producer? All right. But yeah, it's just crazy out there. And again, it's going to get worse, folks. This is the time of season, right? People are frustrated. There's just all things going on. They could be distracted. But one thing we know, everybody's going to be in a hurry. And you've got to be the voice of reason out there. And I don't mean that literally talking. I mean, in your actions, how you drive, being defensive out there. You can be that voice of reason and slow others down just a little bit. Again, we already know 5 miles an hour makes a huge difference between accident, no accident, between injury, no injury, between death, no death. Right?
Yeah, and just so that we watch the video and we look at it and what the video we're talking about with Donna and the one she brought up, a great video to just learn from. Number one, there is no reason to be in a hurry. There's just no reason to be in a hurry. I mean, you're out there on the road. The most important thing you can do out there is to be safe. Look, we want you to get from point A to point B. That's why you're on the road. That's why you're driving a truck. We get all that. But really, while you're behind the wheel, you've got to tell yourself a few very important things. And number one, you have to stay focused, right? You have to pay attention to what's going on all the time because things like this happen, right? Yeah. And number two, you have to have the right mindset, right? You don't want that road rage that you're talking about. No reason to get angry. There's no reason to get upset. It is what it is. Deal with it as it comes, and make sure you make the right reaction to the right situation, right?
Yes.
And then lastly, what we want you to do is we want you to realize that no matter what goes on, you got to tell yourself that first and foremost, we got to be safe in what we do. And that's that's what you got to have, that mindset, right? You got to have the right attitude.
One of the best things we heard was and we hear a lot from the drivers on the show, but the driver said, repeat things to himself. And I did it the other day. I woke up late for work a week or so ago, and I caught myself starting to speed, trying to make up the time. And I was like,
week
patience,
or so ago.
patience,
every day,
patience, patience. I kept saying, I'm here before you, mister. But yeah,
peak season.
We'll drive safe. It is that end of the great week. Would you like to close us out?
Sure. Dear Heavenly Father, we gather before you today to say thank you for everything. Thank you for this moment, this time, and this place. Father, you've given us so much. We want to demonstrate our appreciation to you each and every day in any way that we can. And we know that we do this by being a blessing upon somebody else in our lives, by reaching out and finding a way to do something for someone else whenever we can. Father, we ask also that you look out, watch over, and give a special shout out and a special comfort to our buddy Jeffrey Marsh today. Help him, be with him, and do what you can for him to give him strength and comfort today as he struggles with some certain things. Father, we also ask today that you help each and every driver today to be safe. Help get them the destination that where they're headed. Keep them in your heart. Keep their hands on their wheel with them, and do everything you can to be with them today in their endeavors. Father, we ask all these things in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Hey, everybody. This is BCB, the safest station in the nation. We will see you this afternoon, and with that, drive safe.